The latest, Italy's President Oak's populist pick for premier five-star movement leader Luigi Di Maio meets reporters at the Italian Parliament, in Rome, Wednesday, May 30, 2018. Italy will take more time to try to form a government rather than head for another election in order to avoid the risk of more financial market turmoil, the premier-designate said Wednesday. The two populist parties that got the most votes in the March 4 election failed to create a government over the weekend after President Sergio Mattarella vetoed their proposed economy minister. Fabio Frastacci, ANSA via AP, Milan, AP, the latest on the drawn-out negotiations to form Italy's next government, all times local, 8:40 p.m. Italy's president has tipped politically inexperienced law professor Giuseppe Conte to be the premier who will head Italy's first populist government. The president's office announced Thursday that Conte had accepted the role and would be sworn in Friday afternoon with cabinet ministers. Conte read the list of ministers and told reporters in a brief statement, "We will work with determination to improve the quality of life of all Italians." The announcement indicated that President Sergio Mattarella had accepted all of the ministers proposed by the anti-EU Five-Star Movement and League on their second try. The populists' choice for a Eurosceptic economy minister was the sticking point that led their first attempt to form a government to fail last weekend. Five-Star Movement leader Luigi Di Maio and League leader Matteo Salvini came up with a compromise earlier Thursday that led the president to postpone trying to install a technical government until a new election could be held. ___8:10 p.m. Italian President Sergio Mattarella has summoned the pick for premier by the anti-establishment Five-Star Movement and right-wing League as Italy edges toward a populist government on the second try. Mattarella summoned law professor Giuseppe Conte to his office Friday evening, just an hour after a technical premier-designate stepped aside in a fast-changing political landscape. Conte had been expected to teach at Florence University on Friday morning, but with signals that the Five Stars and League might get another shot at forming a government, he grabbed a train for Rome. The two leaders, Luigi Di Maio of the Five Stars and Matteo Salvini of the League, announced after meeting at the Parliament that they had reached an agreement to form a political government, an outcome that avoids an interim, technical government and a swift return to the polls. ___7:45 p.m. A former IMF official tapped to lead Italy's government until a new election could be held has stepped aside, paving way for political government of populists. Premier-designate Carlo Cottarelli told reporters on Thursday that it is no longer necessary to form a technical government. He made the announcement after meeting with President Sergio Mattarella to formally renounce the post. The leaders of two populist parties, Italy's anti-migrant League Party and the anti-establishment Five-Star Movement, earlier announced they had reached a deal that would enable them to form a government. Their first try failed when Mattarella rejected their choice of economy minister as dangerously Eurosceptic. But after they signaled they were willing to compromise, the president put Cottarelli on standby and gave them another shot. ___7:30 p.m. The leader of Italy's anti-migrant, Eurosceptic League Party is expressing cautious optimism that he and the leader of the Five-Star Movement are back on their way to forming Western Europe's first populist government. Matteo Salvini posted a message on Facebook after meeting with Five-Star leader Luigi Di Maio and announcing they had reached new terms days after their initial coalition agreement was scheduled. Salvini wrote, "Maybe, finally, we are there." The timing of any new government was unclear, but developments were moving quickly. President Sergio Mattarella has called to his office the former IMF official he'd tapped to run a possible interim government of technocrats. Carlo Cottarelli was expected to formally step aside. Salvini says it took dedication, coherence, listening, patience, good sense, head and heart to get a second chance while facing many obstacles, attacks, threats and lies. 7:15 p.m. Italy's populist leaders are getting a second shot at putting together a government. The leader of the Five-Star Movement, Luigi Di Maio, and League leader Matteo Salvini said in a statement Thursday that they have achieved the conditions for a political government. The political landscape in Italy has shifted swiftly in the last 2 days. President Sergio Mattarella put on hold a possible interim government of technocrats Wednesday after getting signals that the two populist parties were willing to compromise on the composition of their cabinet. Salvini and Di Maio's initial attempt to form Western Europe's first populist government foundered early in the week when Mattarella refused their choice of an anti-Euro economy minister. As a next step, Mattarella has called the IMF official he named as premier designate of the technical government to a Thursday night meeting. Carlo Cottarelli was expected to formally step aside, 4:05 p.m. The leaders of two populist parties in Italy are meeting in Rome amid revived prospects for a political government after their first attempt failed on their choice of a Eurosceptic economy minister. A day after the possibility of a governing coalition between the anti-establishment Five-Star Movement and the right-wing League was revived, League leader Matteo Salvini cancelled appointments in northern Italy to travel to Rome. Salvini declined to respond to reporters' questions when he arrived at the Rome airport. News agency ANSA said he went straight to the lower house of parliament, where he met with Five-Star leader Luigi Di Maio. The possibility that the Five-Star government and the League could come up with a government acceptable to Italy's president buoyed financial markets, despite their Eurosceptic views. 10:05 a.m. Financial markets have calmed amid signs that Italy may avoid imminent elections after President Sergio Mattarella gave two populist parties time to figure out whether they can agree on an alternative to a Eurosceptic economy minister. The leader of the Five-Star Movement, Luigi Di Maio, has proposed moving the contested ministerial candidate to a different cabinet post. League leader Matteo Salvini, meanwhile, said he isn't closing the doors on any solution. But he's also showing some resistance to the change, saying, if someone in Berlin or Paris wakes up in a bad mood, that doesn't mean that an Italian minister gets kicked out. Mattarella gave the leaders time to form a coalition government after markets plunged on news of an interim administration that would take Italy to new elections. Copyright 2018 The Associated Press. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, written or redistributed.